Well, we were classmates all the way through school. All right, so all the way back to the first grade. I guess it was somewhere in the junior year of high school when the complexion of that relationship changed a little bit. We were together for several years, kind of made a commitment that we'd be out of school, out of college before we'd get married. I think we pretty much knew that that's where we were headed. And then got married in 1980. It'll be 30 years in June.
There is currently no cure for ALS, so it is a terminal disease. There are therapies and things that can make the difficulties that these patients encounter easier to manage, but ultimately the disease is going to progress and it is terminal.
I couldn't stand on my tiptoes because my foot wouldn't let me. We had MRIs done and everything. He said that he wanted me to go to Houston and get another opinion.
It is one of the toughest, most devastating disease going. It's almost like having a ringside seat as your body seems to melt away.
What happens to the patient is over time they become a prisoner in their own body. They can't move their arms, can't move their legs, they can't eat, they can't breathe. They need like a ventilator to keep them breathing. They'll need a feeding tube to keep them nourished. Average life expectancy is 3 to 5 years.
Initially, I mean, there's this, punch to the gut.
You think about it and you cry because, what's going to happen. And you think about how you're going to tell your kids and your family.
We have an expectation of going off into the sunset with our spouse, look back and saying, we did it okay. In the case of someone experiencing ALS, some of those things that seem like they would be an expectable reality going forward aren't any longer.
Makes you realize just how important the relationship is now. You're not living in the past, you're not living in the future. You're in the present, which is all we really have.
The most common response to a resilient or a traumatic experience is resilience. Overwhelmingly, most of us, when we experience something that wants to knock us on our butt, we get up.
It's happened for a reason. What it is, I don't know.
That's where we are, all right, in the struggle, and you embrace the struggle, all right? Love the struggle, and it'll work out.
Dirty people take what's mine. I can leave them all behind. They can never cross that line when I get to the border. Sawbones standing at the door, waiting till I hit the floor. He won't find me anymore when I get to the border. Monday morning, closing in on me. I'm packing up and I'm running away to anybody picks on me. The dusty road will smell so sweet, paved with gold beneath my feet, and I'll be dancing down the street when I get to the border, when I get to the border.
About half a year ago, I put my dining room table so the kids can do homework. I'm gonna put my laptop on there. I'm gonna buy me a printer, and
Craig G. Fox, and I have ALS. It has taken away my arms, the use of my arms. My index finger would just point down. I could not hold it up to point it horizontally. It just pointed straight down. And at the time, I was doing a lot of typing at work, so I thought that might have been a like carpal tunnel until I went to see my family doctor. A nurse, nurse said that she had carpal tunnel and she moved her fingers. So I went to Houston. Basically, just I wanted to know. I was still naive and thinking, well, heck, whatever I do have, a simple peel, no big deal, But when he told me that I had flail arm syndrome, I almost thought that was a generic name, that he just made up in the office, because I didn't know what that was until he said, well, that's a form of ALS. I couldn't believe what was I hearing, because, it was pretty wild. And a long trip home. Something that went through my head from the very beginning was who was going to take care of me.
He's going to have an entertainment center against his wall on the left. And his favorite recliner is going to sit here. Now that Craig and the children are going to be living with us, I don't think things will change a great deal for us as a whole.
It's not like moving everything. We just want to move what they're needed in their bedrooms primarily.
This is like when I grew up, leaving it.
What do you think of the new room you're going to have?
It's going to be small. I might put a couple posters up, of the Jonas Brothers or someone famous that I like.
Is that your favorite group, is the Jonas Brothers?
I like Nick because I think he's kind of cute. All my friends like the other guys. I think they need a haircut.
You climb the ladder of independence, you finally get your independence, and then you fall off of it. So that's what it's feeling like, because it's all coming to, and it's easy to talk about it, but when it comes to reality,
I think he's probably all of a sudden realized that this is where he'll be. And I think that's tough. The excitement of moving and planning where to put the furniture and all of that kind of kept the realization back until he's here.
You gotta look past the fact that it's different and just get right to the good facts, like we won't be spending as much money on electricity. We'll save a lot of money for us to do whatever we want. And plus, once I have my driving, once I'm able to drive, we'll have our own independence.
You can look back in history. You're not the first one that this happened to. So, singling me out or singling the situation out, it could be a lot worse. I guarantee it could be a lot worse.
We tested 100+ different drugs, hoping that we would slow arrest or cure this disease. And the unfortunate result was that nothing worked. We even retested other drugs that other medical research organizations had said would possibly work, and we came up with the same answer. We didn't find anything that worked. Thalidomide, which was something that came out of the 50s, with the hopes that it would have some effect on the disease, and it just didn't.
There's so many adjustments that have to be made, especially earlier in the disease when you basically had to grieve the loss of something on a weekly basis9 There is no way that one person could take care of someone in my wife's situation.
There are 9 girls and 3 boys in my family, maybe half. Come up and volunteer to take care of me during the day.
What do you typically do? Just miscellaneous stuff?
Just, take care of her needs, fix her lunch, dinner, whatever she needs. If she needs hair out of her eyes, nose wiped, she can't do anything for herself. And then here's all the stuff. And that's not all of it. There's some in here, but it's just
This is all
extra stuff. That's all the stuff that she uses. From inner cannulas to trach care to drain sponges to vent stuff, masks, water traps, connectors, bathroom stuff.
It affects each person differently. Somebody might not be able to have their speech, but still be walking, you know, and like me, I mean, I can't walk, but I can talk.
In the human body, you have a cell that's called a motor neuron. They provide the signals for movement, like everything that I'm doing right now. What happens in ALS is these, for reasons that aren't really clear to everybody just yet, as these motor neurons start to die.
Mike sleeps on that bed, and then Carolyn sleeps here. She's got to be just perfect with her pillows all around. She's like a cocoon. And Mike's about the only one that really can get her comfortable.
The out-of-pocket expenses, especially for the hired help in caregiving, stretches things. I can't think about retiring anytime soon. That's for sure. But you know, that's. I mean, I worry about it. You know, on one hand, I do worry about it, and I continue to work hard, knowing that that income has to be there in order to give her the care that she needs.
I think I had been here maybe a couple of months, not even, when I talked to Bill Hassel. I knew him. I knew he was a funny guy, a good guy, a faithful guy, and he is right down the road. So I asked if he would be my mentor, and he said he had already realized that he had developed ALS, and said he would do it as long as he could talk. He would continue to mentor me.
A special thanks that needs to go out for the service to Russell Franklin for all his putting together all kinds of banners I've never seen before in my life. And Barbara Reinhardt for extra.
I knew him in junior high, but never really paid a lot of attention to him, I guess. And then when we were in high school, he was on the football team and I was a cheerleader, and it gets kind of cold up there in the fall, so I needed a letter jacket for one of the football games, and so I asked him if I could borrow his. And my side of the story is I just wanted the jacket. He thought I wanted him in it, so. But that's how we met.
Here's something of interest to nobody but me. But there's my shortened library. I had 3 bookshelves before, now I got it in one. That bottom row up and halfway across, that's 34 years of sermons. I wish I could sell them. You use your cheek muscles, your throat muscles, all these muscles to speak. And I've lost about 1/3 of them. I have a good talking voice for 3 hours. With a walker, I can walk a block and keep on working, although it's a limited basis.
We got a letter from the doctor, and Bill was gone for the weekend to a retreat. So I decided, well, I wasn't going to call him and tell him about it, because I wanted him to enjoy the weekend. Little did I know he had this suspicion, and he had already looked it up and hadn't said anything to me.
I believe God called me to use my talents, not to sit on them. I have the talents of an organizer as a pastor. I have a little talent of woodworking. I put this card on it, which names it Faith, Hope, and Charity Cross. A person of faith, hoping for a cure, giving to charity. Each one nets at least $15 profit. 100 crosses nets $1,500, and I have sent that much off.
To all the charities combined?
This is my ride. I pull out my remote, the doors will come out, the elevator will come down, I'll get on and get in it. I'm locked in. Now, it's my hope and dream that I wear this thing out. Doctors say I won't because I won't live that long, but I'm gonna prove them wrong. The other option is sit at the house and watch TV for the rest of my days. With this, I don't.
I think people are going to be incredibly disappointed as to how much fire it really causes.
The prevalence of ALS is something like 5 to 7 per 100,000. The number of patients has been listed for the last 10 years as 30,000 in the United States. That number is low. It's more likely 40,000.
That's the first thing that you can't do. You can't comb your hair. You can't shave. You can't brush your teeth. You can't scratch your nose. But you're going to be amazed on how fast this kid can shave another person.
This young teenage boy was getting up in the middle of the night to help his father. And then, after the father left for work, he would try to grab a little bit of sleep before he and his sister had to be off to school. In listening to this young boy, I have not ever heard him say it's unfair, other kids didn't have to do this, look what I gave up, look what I didn't get to do. I think we could say it was a labor of love.
I just know that my dad can't use his arms. I know why he can't use his arms. I know it's not curable. And I know what I have to sacrifice to do to help him out.
He's had to grow up real fast.
Bailey just says, I just hope it doesn't get in my daddy's legs. That's her concern.
She realized now that, he has no use of his arms and hands, but I don't think she's realized what's gonna happen in the future.
I tell you, God has great plans for both of them because how strong they are. Big-hearted, caring, very rarely look to themselves. They give up a lot. I'm trying to give back to them as much as I can because they don't ask for it.
I cannot imagine anybody I know, including myself, doing what Mike Shimmick does. He's a school teacher. He and Carolyn are the father of 3 children. The coaches has organized a 24-hour care for Carolyn when her nose itches in the middle of the night. Mike is awake to scratch her nose. All the little things that we take for granted, and they're almost involuntary actions, Carolyn has to have someone do this for her, and Mike does it.
We're in a situation that requires a lot of commitment, loyalty, and dedication, and that's what we're going to do. First priority is taking care of Carolyn, all right, and all the things that need to be done so that she has the best care possible. And mentally I get tired, and physically I get tired sometimes. Let's just say that there are several days during the week that I'll get 3 to 4 hours of sleep. And there might be a couple of days out of the week that I'll get a little bit more than that. So probably I get about half as much sleep as I should. And I know that I need to care better for myself, but at this point I still have no solution.
She let me spend the night at her house, and so did her other.
So do you make friends really easily?
I'm an outgoing person, unlike Tanner. He's not an outgoing person. When we were on the cruise ship last spring break, I met 22 people in 5 days.
She's a lot like her daddy. She's people. She feels like she's got to be with somebody playing. He has 1 or 2 close friends, but they're not together a lot.
He keeps shelter to himself too. He has a hard time talking, making friends, because he doesn't come out, he's not the goofy kind of, joke around kind of guy like I am. My personality is different.
Everything about my sister, except for the fact that she's a female, matches with my dad. Everything, just about everything about me matches with my mom. Just about everything except that I'm a male. Everything.
They lost their mother in 2005 in November in the middle of the night. We got a phone call about 1:30, crying and, upset, and I hardly could understand Craig. And when we got over there, she was already dead. They knew that she was gone.
We got married in 93, and she passed away in 05, November of 05.
They were acquainted in high school, but they didn't date. And they went to their 5th class reunion and met there and started dating and then got married.
When you do stuff solo, you kind of ask the other person, what do you think? I mean, it might seem crazy, but you do.
You still ask that?
Oh yeah. I ask that every time they yell at me. Should I go back in there and kick them in the tail, or should we just let everybody cool down? Yeah, she'll be on the wall. She comes with it.
Tanner was very close to his mother.
Here it is. It's just a slideshow of my mom.
Remember me in a Bible cracked and faded by the years, and age to age and heart to heart, bound by grace and peace, child of wonder, child of God, I've remembered you. Remember me.
Like, you can say that, that is exactly how they look from the time that they were like 11 years old to the time that, they die. They look, you can so tell them from a mile away that that's them. Nothing has changed about me.
That was strange. I never did it before until Nancy died. People that are in the coffin, you always think, oh my gosh, they're embalmed and everything. How do they feel? How does it feel to touch them? It wasn't until I touched Nancy. That's what I look forward to. Touching her again. So yeah, why won't I be happy when that day comes? So yeah, I'll be leaving people, but I'll see them again. So I'll see her.
My son had 2 to 5 years left. I got serious about my will, my financial planning, what legacies I'm going to leave to the children and the grandchildren, what I can do to make a difference now. Then Pastor Amy comes up with this idea of a run.
He said, well, I'll put together a group of young professionals. And I said, and I'll help you put together a 5K. And neither of us had ever done that.
I decided to come up with a stroll, roll, and run for ALS.
It'll take you 9 months to get it prepared. Bill doesn't have the time to wait 9 months. Bill is getting it together in 2 months.
I kept thinking, I don't know how this will work in 2 months. I don't know how much we can do, or if we should expect that many people.
There you go. Hey, dude. It's a good flat course, trees and river. What more could you want?
They'll register at the stables to get the chips there. And so everybody's kind of corralled in this parking lot, keeps the course clear, so that when it's time to start, everybody goes out to the road. You line up your runners first and your walkers in the back, and then you can start out at the road.
Did everybody get a bib or just the runner get it?
The running and the runners and the walkers all get a bib.
Yeah, well, want the kids to get a bib?
No.
That's unfair. They want
They
a
get a
bib.
t-shirt. They don't care about a bib.
They can have
They don't
my
care.
bib then. My grandchild wants a bib. I must think some extra bibs. Everything that day, I assure you, goes to ALS-TBI. You can see I'm sleepy. You know what? I haven't thought about the disease. Instead of worrying about what I'm losing with the disease, I wake up and say, oh, well, that muscle don't work anymore. I have to do it this way. But I got to keep going because people are waiting on me.
This is the monitor that we bought so that we could hear Craig in his room, and he can call us if he needs any help. What it is, it's a baby monitor that you would use if you had a baby, in the bedroom and you wanted to monitor. Okay, I hear you. Yeah.
When I got diagnosed, then that's basically what they told me was, within a year, you won't be driving. I drove that morning to Corpus, and it was raining. And I got to the office in Corpus and threw the keys on Wayne's desk and told him no more. And he says, what do you mean? I said I was scared to death. Do I actually miss the driving aspect of actually getting in a vehicle and cruising? I miss the freedom that gives you.
Since he quit driving last fall, we've become the taxi cab. So we kind of make sure that we're available and the kids have learned to plan ahead.
I don't like being cooped up. See, when I get grounded, I get aggravated. I can't stand being inside.
It feels like I'm just staying the night here and then going back home tomorrow. But then I look at my surroundings and it's reality. I'm not going back home.
What is that?
I am home.
After Nancy passed away, I had 2 vehicles. The economy took a tumble. Gas shot up. I sold the car. I was going to take a big hit on the truck, and I said, forget that. I could still manage to drive, but I knew whatever I had was going to end up, Tanner was going to end up being the one to drive it at the end.
When you think of the family as, a machine, each cog has its role. When one of the cogs experiences something such as ALS or another illness, they're not able to do a lot of the functions they used to do, but the machine still needs to work.
Yeah, we can get mom and dad's, van and go wherever, but, him doing it, himself, something that he can really give the freedom back to the family, really.
Definitely want to gain some of his independence back. And that way me and my sister will have transportation somewhere where my grandparents won't have to make plans and stuff. I'll just be like, hang on just a minute. All right, let's go.
I get really frustrated because I can't do things for me. I can row my wheelchair yet, which is good.
That's about it.
the very few things she can do, all right, you want to allow her to do, right? Because that's important to her, right? She's going to hold on as long as she can to be as independent as she can. Hooked up back here, right? And then here's the mic, and then
It should click on. There it is. Seeing I can go.
and then
Telephone.
Did it click?
Telephone.
Now it just clicked.
Telephone. Say a command. Call Mike.
Mike connecting. You should buzz him. Yeah, there you go.
It's kind of getting a little harder to go for long trips. Like if I have to go to the grocery store and up and down all the aisles and everything.
Carolyn has a lot of fight in her. She stubbornly holds on to that independence.
One of our patients last year, a wonderful woman, said, "I'm going to fight this." I said, "How are you going to fight it?" She said, "Because I may have ALS, but ALS doesn't have me."
It's called stroll, roll, and run. 5K run, a kids run, and then a roll is wheelchair. So I'm taking anybody on this power chair that wants to.
Can you run 3 miles in a row, you think?
She thinks she can do a 5K run. She don't realize that it all has to be done in one day. You realize it starts at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. And when does it end?
Well, I guess if you're going to do the 5K, it'll probably be Tuesday.
I have a friend that said if he wants to run it,
Yes, I am.
but you didn't know, is there a smoke break?
They don't run taxis down in the park, do they? You guys slip into a taxi and beat all y'all?
This would be the back of the t-shirt. Then. Idea of running is run from here to the cookie jar and back. I'm getting some registrations online. Only a handful, but I got another one in the mail today.
He's always been more accepting of whatever comes along in life than I have. I mean, he knows what the outcome is, but he said in the beginning, I want this to make a difference.
Are they pretty heavy?
I think
Is that heavy?
well,
Yeah, it's a heavy clothes box. He's gonna know
it's
this.
gonna clothes. Well, they're gonna think I take all of these to look like clothes.
Is that her camera? Is that what's in that small?
No, that's the little key chain thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I put your name on that one. I stuck Santa on the rest of this stuff.
Okay. I never did do a whole lot of shopping until Christmas Eve. I bought Nancy's gift on Christmas Eve. I bought anything that she wanted me to get the kids on Christmas Eve. That was me. And then, of course, I always had to watch out for the news, because the news ladies would be out wanting to interview all the men that waited until
The last minute.
So I always had to make sure that I didn't run into one of those people from the news, because I didn't want to get caught. You know, here I am late, you know. I was okay before I had ALS. Stores, it's not like walking around a track.
And you're walking and looking and stuff, and as I turn my neck and look up and down,
It's more time.
that's more muscles that I'm using in my neck. And now this time I can't get nothing off the shelves, you know, can't wrap nothing. So, you know, I kind of point, throw a shoulder into the, you know, in front
That's
of
what your daddy said,
front
you
of
were
an
using
item.
your shoulder. Okay, well, I need to go get that other stuff and go hide it in the stocking stuffer thing. So
Yes,
I can hide
right.
it pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's
You
on.
know who
yeah,
is gonna
she's-
be, she gets out of school in 2 minutes.
It's kind of hard to pick out gifts for your kids when you're somebody else. You'd like to pick it yourself. Next year, I don't know if I'll be even, you know, to go to the stores.
And we may have to put him in a chair, you know, the next time we go, even though he can walk.
What I wanted to do is, you know, well, what anybody would want to do is make the best of the situation that you have.
Why is the door locked?
Oh, because we don't want you coming in. There's movies.
Get.
Movies. Hello, baby. How you doing? Why don't you just take?
Look, Bailey.
Why don't you take that to the tree?
No, go the other way. Go the other way. Go the other way, or you won't get any of these.
There's one right there
Well,
too.
isn't that good?
Which one's that from? That little one. Uh-huh. See? Oh, that's broke.
Oh,
We'll
no.
take that one back. Good heavens. You lose the enthusiastic as soon as they think it's closed. That's all that is, closed. She's like, we're gonna get her some underwear. We're gonna go back and get some underwear.
Craig depended on Tanner to do a lot of the shopping and wrapping previously.
For him to do it and know what's in all the, you know, and then still act semi-surprised, you know, for his sister's sake, you know, because Bailey was still on the brink of believing. Yeah, he took a lot of the role on her too, making
The
sure.
role of what?
Parenting Bailey.
Parenting Bailey. I get a call at work and they're asking me,
Tanner
asked,
our eggs
the
are
egg's
brown?
supposed to be brown when they're done. And I told her, no, son, I said, they're way past done, they're burnt. And I said, throw those away. And he goes, well, what color? I said, yellow. When they turn, you know, when they get to a bright yellow, that's when you're done. You take them off the burner. I said, or they're burned. You know. Okay, because Bailey wanted eggs, and I was going to be nice enough to fix her some eggs. He doesn't eat eggs, so he didn't know, you know.
Dad, let me do it.
Well, save some of that paper because I've got 2 more to wrap.
Give me the scissors.
What are you doing? Hey, how'd you fall today? How did that go? What?
Everybody was scared. They didn't want the old people to cry, so they barely even saw.
We barely even what?
Silent Night, you know how
Yeah.
sad that is? And
Yeah,
old people,
yeah.
like, they started tearing up.
How have things been?
Well,
Yeah,
we're
that's-
all adjusting.
Yeah,
We're
I mean, it's, you know, on the wheels we have is through them. Things have to be planned. You can't just dump everything, you know.
Last
Oh,
one.
Dan, I gotta be at a party in 30 minutes. You know, well, no, you're not gonna go to that party.
My grandparents, you know, they don't understand everything that we do. We like to go to the movies, we like to go to the mall, we like to go to people's houses. We don't like staying at home every weekend, just to, you know, not do anything.
I was spontaneous. Oh my gosh, you know, did you tell me that? Yes, okay, well then let's run and go get a gift and I'll get you there. That's the drive to be independent. See, you know,
sure.
as kids, that's what we drive to do because we're being told what to do. So the
When to
drive
do it.
and when to do it, so that the drive of independence is, and it only gets stronger.
I like being very independent. I can't stand living here, actually.
What role do you think your dad is going to have in teaching you to drive?
Well, he's pretty much the main ticket of me being legal to drive before I get my driver's license.
Bailey, so what did you want for Christmas?
Zebra bedding.
I'm not going back for a while, so whatever y'all got, y'all got.
That's it.
I'm done.
minus 3.2 miles. We said to my daughter, "Are you gonna run?" And she said to her mother, "If God wanted us to run 3.2 miles, He wouldn't have invented cars." Friday's the deadline for sponsors, so I'll make a few calls to those that haven't responded. I have enough to pay for the basic t-shirt and the race timer. I was by the funeral home the other day, and they said, "Oh, we're all signed up. We're gonna walk with you." So 4 people there.
All right, let me have you stand up. Try it again.
I did get up.
Yes.
What she's doing is evaluating the progression or the lack of.
Don't let me push your knee up to your chest. Good. Don't let me push your knee down again. Don't let me push it down. Don't let me straighten your leg. Okay, drop it and then lift.
It's a workout?
Kind of. It isn't supposed to be, but it is. My heart, my lung, my liver, I'm a healthy man on the inside, but I am not on the voluntary side. All right, we'll do 15, you said? All right, bye. I got orders.
Now, let me see how you stand up again, but this time go slow.
1 out of 25 to 30,000 get it. Well, that's about the chances of winning some of the scratch-off on lotteries. Why didn't I win one of them instead of win this disease?
In some ways, I think we may, some of the ALS folks might actually function a little bit higher than they would have had they not been diagnosed because of this. It's an urgency, a desire to, I want to do this, I believe I can do this, and I'm going to do this, and I will get this accomplished.
What's the use? Why make these crosses? I'm gonna be dead in a few years anyway. No. Make these crosses because I might be dead in a few years. Why do it today? Do anything? Just sit around and mope. Be sad and awful. No. You got today, make the best of it.
Love you. Hey, you got your hair dry enough, bud?
Just go to class, go to the next class. Nothing really special. I try to get the work done to keep my head down. I mean, teacher asks me a question, I'll try to answer it. Some teachers, they'll just give you credit for at least trying and at least speaking. Some teachers won't. My dream is to go to probably a big school, like maybe University of Texas, like just one that stays inside the state of Texas, because I don't want to have to drive too far to come back home.
How is Tanner doing in school now, I think?
How's Tanner doing in school now?
Yeah, at the moment.
At the moment, he's doing right at average. I was just an average student. I did just what I needed to do to get by. Everything becomes average. The job that you have is average. If you're going to settle for average, that's exactly what you're going to get. I've strived that. Now, Tanner, he's still trying to find himself. He's a young, he's going into young manhood, and he's still trying to find himself. And all I'm trying to do is guide him.
I don't really know what average is, to tell you the truth.
What do you think you're going to do on your test? Are you going to do bien, muy bien, or mal?
Bien.
Bien.
He's got a lot to offer. Whoever comes in Tanner's path, he has a big heart, and that heart's going to carry him a long way through life. When I get him to understand that what people get for being above average, he'll get there because he'll want it.
How do you think you did?
All right.
How would you say it in Spanish?
Muy bien.
What are all the responsibilities? Like, you mow the grass, do the weeds?
Basically the whole campus, whether it's mowing the grass, trimming, raking leaves, trimming shrubs, trimming trees. Basically all the whole campus outdoors, I take care of. How can I help you? Well, figure out a way to put 48 hours in a day. That would be helpful, but I know that's asking too much, of course.
Do you think Mike gets enough sleep?
No, that's a good answer. I mean, I'll just say no right away. I don't think he does. He'll come home and take a nap, and then he'll have to go back to school and prepare for his next day. And so I think he should get more sleep. But he says, he makes it.
As human beings, we have limitations, all right? I kind of stretch that sometimes. Carolyn is getting the best care she possibly can, and it's not without its frustrations and bumps in the road every now and then. But I think that's reflective of life itself. If you don't realize that there are ups and downs in life, then you're not experiencing it fully.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Schumer.
It is?
Yes.
Has permission, can I make a sexy statement?
Sure.
Women! Made arrangements for the doctor to make a home visit. That's not easy to do in this day and time, right? So what do they do?
I'm sorry.
They, meaning the person staying with my wife and my wife. What do they do this morning?
They leave.
They decide that, we're going to go to a movie this afternoon. So now I'm supposed to call the doctor and rearrange.
What's the biggest thing that makes it worth it for you?
Love is sacrifice. I mean, if you understand, again, why we're here, if you understand, what marriage means, then don't have to go any further. I mean, this is what it's about.
We made a vow to each other, commitment to each other that, through better, for worse, for sicker or poorer. So that's a vow you make with each other, and it is for life, so.
You switch out. Like, for a week you'll do camera, for a week you'll do anchor, for a week you'll do audio, a week do weather. Today in the cafeteria we'll be serving pepperoni calzone, tossed salad, ranch dressing, California blend, pears with cherries, fresh fruit, and milk. And if you don't want that, you can have a hamburger. And now Ms. McCoskey will present the rest of the program. And then blah, 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 blah. Now, our dolphin time is 7:39. Your morning announcements have been brought to you by Bailey Fox, Maker Day Exemplar. That's it.
She works really hard. She's always on task. She's not one that you have to constantly remind to get busy or take out something to work on. She has goals set that she is really trying to meet. And what was our difference this time?
42.
If you tell her she has to have 20 AR points, and that's AR points are reading a book and taking tests off of that book, well then she's going to do at least 25. And she's seen the grades. I go from, C's to they're all A's. I don't know where her drive comes from, because I wasn't like that when I was a kid.
When you get to using the BiPAP like 16, 17, 18 hours a day, that's usually about the max, right, where it affects quality of life to the point where we can need to do something different here. And that's about where we were with Carolyn, right? She was using it all night and then several hours during the day. And because she was fighting all the time for air, all right, it exhausted her, okay? And then you got this thing on your face all the time, and it's making all these noises, and that positive pressure, in all the time, high, low, all the time. I mean, I can only imagine, what it was like. So you got to ask the question: is this the quality of life that I want? And so there are those that stay on BiPAP for 24 hours. I mean, I don't want to speak for her. You've got the talking valve on now, so speak for yourself. I mean, is that something that you would have wanted to do, is to have that thing on your face for 24 hours a day? Don't think so. Don't think so.
Then I couldn't talk.
Yeah, then you couldn't talk. Yes, you did. You did talk over that BiPAP sometime. She started to have some anxiety attacks, okay? And whether it's here or, physical or whatever, she was having them, and they were real. Do you do the trach, all right? And, you read that it can extend, the person who has ALS, that it can extend your life anywhere from 5 to 15 years. I'm very thankful for every day and all the experiences we've had just in the last year that would have been a totally different experience had we not gone this route.
I can still, roll around my wheelchair and go out and, communicate. I mean, I can still do all that. So I think we made the right decision.
And do you have something to live for? Okay, and well, we could fill pages with the answer to that.
I mean, when you're sitting there 17 hours a day and you got a BiPAP machine, on you, that's no way to live. And if the ventilator is going to help you relax, well then I'm all for that. Just because I'm sitting in a wheelchair doesn't mean I'm not going to get good quality of life. And you can see that in Carolyn. She's still here spiritually. She's having a good time. She's a loving and caring, wife and mother. So I mean, she's still enjoying life. She's not just sitting there wasting her away.
It's a personal decision. Informing yourselves is the best thing to do right now, and at some point you'll need to make a decision. Or you go to the other direction, all right? And basically at that point where we were, it would have been to call hospice and go in that direction, okay?
I know Pastor Bill he don't want it. I know that he's mentioned that he doesn't want it.
I admire Carolyn because of the ventilation she's around and about and enjoying her family. My progression plus my age, when you add them two together, ventilating so I can last a year or so, I just don't feel comfortable choosing that route, and then I extend my life beyond quality. I have under one bed in the front room a train, a boat, and a plane for my grandson, who's only a year and 6 months. When he's 3, he can get this, and when he's 4, he can get another train, 5 an airplane. You give it to him too young, they'll sit on there and break him. So I got 5 birthdays covered. He'll get them later as he grows, but I realized I needed to make them now.
So have you ever pictured life without Bill?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have. And it's not easy.
We're all gonna die. Tomorrow I may get run over by a bus in my wheelchair. I mean, there's no guarantees this idea. So don't look at it that way. I was horizontal this morning when I woke up. I'm vertical now. It's a good day. Because every day is useful. It's a gift from God.
You're watching Community Crossroads, a special presentation of the Victoria Television Group, focusing on issues that are of interest to Victoria and the Golden Crescent.
We thank you for joining us for our weekend edition of Community Crossroads. I'm Steve Broussard.
And I'm Jennifer Gale. Our program deals with issues of interest to our hometown. Our first guest is Bill Hassel. He was a former pastor from First English Lutheran Church in Victoria, and he was diagnosed with lateral sclerosis about 3 years ago. And welcome to the show.
I understand you've got an event, run.
No, stroll, roll, and run.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a 5K certified run, starting at 2. You can walk, there'll be kids' fun run, and I'll take on any comers in wheels, and I'll see if I can beat them in my chair.
All right.
We have a pretty souped up chair there.
Yeah, right. I'm going to get a jet on it for that
Bill,
day.
it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for being with us.
People will come.
They will.
All right.
Oh man, we're good to go. Everything is paid for, so every person that comes and registers for $25 gets a t-shirt, the goodie bag, and Known Ryan hamburger, Frito-Lay, 500 bags of chips, and Coca-Cola had their fountain truck.
I'm there, we get the word out, and we go to, maybe throw some flyers at the schools.
I'm trying to tell my family members, so maybe they can come up.
Have you been practicing?
Uh-huh.
You have?
Mm-hmm. Jogging.
We're informing as many people as we can. Certainly going to try to get family and friends there and do everything. We need some good weather so that that can take place.
Now, whatever I get, if I got 100, I got 2,500 to give to the cure. I get 300, we got 7,500. So, I'm excited about it. I think it'll go. We'll see.
If you can hold that knife and cut the putty, that's just like cutting a piece of steak or whatever.
Testing the strength in your
The
hands.
strength in your hand. The first time I was able to do it, second time I got halfway through it, then the knife fell out of my hand. And then the third time, I can't even pick up the knife, so. If there's something that I would like to do, and it's such a small task. And that it's almost like that, mind over matter. Man, if I just stare at my hand long enough, will it go over there and grab my glasses or something and put them on my face? The brain could tell it all day long, but it doesn't move. I don't want to say I get frustrated at it. There's no pain in it whatsoever. So frustrating? Confusing? Oh, heck yeah, it's confusing. I can't believe that this disease, with no pain, has taken my arms.
I don't think we ever got on film what your goal is for your life. I believe you said walking your...
Yeah, right. I told Erica that it was either I was either going to walk or roll Bailey down the aisle when she gets married. That is my goal, because I figured, well, Tanner will get married before she will, so I'll definitely see Tanner if my goal is Bailey's wedding. And then second of all, she'll be taken care of. I I think when you sit back, it's easier for parents to say, okay, well, my job is done. Whatever happens to me, happens. When you marry your kids off.
If it doesn't work well for you, you need to be honest. Don't just expect the therapist to just, okay, I have to do this because this is what they said. No, if you've got problems, tell them. Because there's always ways to do a similar type of exercise for that muscle group that isn't so strenuous possibly. Or
Because we started exercising.
How's schoolwork coming along?
Well-ish, you know, average kind of.
Do you ever feel stuck?
Like, I mean,
Stuck in your house?
yes. Yes, I do.
Do you even know how to start it, Tanner?
I have been living here for 3 months. Do you think I know how to start it? Use your mind. I know it's after school and I know it's 6:57, but you don't gotta be, you know, smart aleck.
So what's the process? Like if you want to go somewhere, what's the process?
A day's notice. A day's notice. I'm a teenager. I don't get a day's notice, and neither they should know that. I feel like it's getting more controllable. Like I can't take these people anymore.
Excited for Tanner to drive?
Yeah. We all are. It's time.
Freedom. The open road. My own style. My own everything.
That is because you're really not trying to build up a whole bunch of bulk and so forth. You're basically trying to maintain what you can.
This right here is his blood pressure. He always has to take that. This is his vitamin E. He's supposed to take 2 of these a day, 1 in the morning and 1 at night.
I take a lot of supplements, and I do take medication. Supplements, vitamin C, vitamin E.
My blood pressure pill and my beta carotene. Right? Isn't that right?
So what kind of drugs are available to people who have ALS?
Right now, there's only one FDA-approved drug, and it's called Riluzole.
So what does that do? That really
It's supposed to slow down. It's slow down. That's all it does is prolong it.
Some people elect to take it and some don't. There is no cure for ALS. The drug supposedly extends your life by months. That drug runs $900 to $1,000 a month.
Thank God for medical insurance, for health insurance. And then the Medicare disability is helpful.
As of this fall, November the 1st, he went on Medicare coverage, but he has no other coverage. Right now, he's going to be responsible for 20% of anything that Medicare will approve of. We can't get other coverage. The phone calls that I have made have all turned up negative.
I don't have any supplementary insurance because nobody will cover me because I got a pre-existing condition, which is fatal. All the companies have their slogan that they care for, they care about their customers, but yet what customers do they want?
I tell folks, you have to remember that insurance companies stay in business by not paying. It's a business.
First of all, you got to realize, are they actually looking out for me, my way of life?
She's been on oxygen for a good while at night. Well, Medicare doesn't pay for it unless you get a reading below 90. Well, now that she's ventilated, I mean, her oxygen is 97, 98, 99. Right. They're trying to take Carolyn's away. And so they already did one test. They tested her at night for 4 hours, and it tested, ventilated.
Yes.
And then it says, we need to get a reading less than 90. I said, you're not going to. So we did it in the afternoon during a nap and didn't get the readings. And so they said, we understand your situation. We know that you need to have oxygen in the home just in case, right? But Medicare wants the test because you have to have these below 90 readings. And that never has been an emergency. It's just adjust this and adjust that. But what if?
Yeah.
What if? I haven't figured out a solution to being able to get everything accomplished that needs to be accomplished. There are times when I get quite frustrated, all right? But the frustration isn't, at her. I mean, it's just at the situation,
You just feel like one day, if you could just get up by yourself and put your feet on the floor and go, how that would take away so many responsibilities.
What do you say to someone like that? I said, well, I don't know what to tell you. I said, you just do everything you can. But he's exhausted. But you never give up on a loved one.
I used to mow a lot with my husband, Mike. It would be nice to be able to go out with him and mow again. One more yard.
The hardest part was the two granddaughters. The younger one said, well, Papa, that's okay. If you die, you'll be up in heaven with Taylor, her favorite little dog that just died. She even drew a picture of me walking Taylor, had drawn it, and then after that discussion went to and drew wings on Taylor and wings on me. And her oldest, she said, why's Papa sick if God is good? If God wants us all to be well, why don't we have a cure for that disease? And other deep questions. She's a deep thinker.
Let's talk about the Spanish test. What'd you get on the
73.
How was that with what you expected?
It's a little bit below what I expected. I was hoping that I'd get like a 75. That was my goal, at least a 75 on the Spanish quiz.
Bailey was at the age that I grabbed her early enough and I held her back. That was the first big decision that I had to make.
Well, what's that decision again?
Was to hold Bailey back. I put her in 3rd grade again. She repeated 3rd grade. Her reading was low and her math was low. And ever since I did that, man, she's straight A's. It's the best decision that I've made since Nancy, passed away. I told him that, we'd all like for him to drive, but he's going to show us the responsibility of passing. Then we can, further, dig into him, driving.
It's been put on hold for now because got behind in my grades.
I think that's what I can do, what I can still do now for Tanner. That'll be something that he might be able to look back at and understand later.
When Craig first became ill, he had a lot of trouble talking about it, and Tanner was kind of left on the fringes. I asked Craig if I could talk to him. I just told him, I said, I want you to ask me anything that you're wondering about your dad, about his illness. And so we sat there and talked and cried. And Tanner knows. His questions were, how long will my dad live? Will he see me graduate? Will he see me get married? And I had to say, I don't know.
I've already lost my arms. So if they come up with a cure, well, all I'm going to have, I'm just going to be here longer, which is fine and dandy. I mean, that's life. Optimistic if I'll ever get my arms back, no, they're gone.
What if, say, just through some kind of scientific miracle, you were able to get your arms back? What would be the first thing you would do?
What would be the first thing I'd do? I gotta catch myself. hard to even say it. I hug my kids. That's what they talk about. That I don't hug back. You know, I mean, even, I can still shake a hand. You know, Tanner will pull my hand up there and I'll shake a hand and stuff. But when you can't hug your kids, Tanner's mentioned that, because I always tell him about, he's special. That, yeah, you lost your mom and your dad is fighting ALS. He said, Dad, you don't understand. I don't have a mom and I have half a dad. Because that's what it's taken from you. So, if I could give him anything, I could, if I could give him a hug. Bring on that scientific discovery then.
Before 1920, if you had the same diagnosis of diabetes, you got the same prognosis, meaning go home and put your affairs in order. The disease is fatal, you have a limited amount of time. And then insulin was discovered. In the 80s and early 90s, AIDS was rampant, and it just scared everybody to death. But now we have the AIDS cocktail, which has brought a lot of people back from the brink of death and has treated the disease. The reality is ALS is not incurable, it's underfunded.
We need people to get involved. We need support groups that would raise money for research, raise money for clinical activities, and truly, let's get to the day when we solve this disease and it's not here any longer.
Some people say too, well, where's God in this? Here you are, a pastor, a man of God, and you have a disease like this. I think, and I believe God's right here with me in this chair. God's with me in this particular chapter and journey in my life like he has been since my birth. God didn't, on this side of heaven, promise things to be perfect. So, learn to live with the imperfection and know the perfect life is to come. Good and gracious God, I give you thanks for this day, this opportunity that you lay before me. Might you be within God, my every thought, my every word, my every deed. Bless those in my family, neighbors and loved ones, and our enemies. We ask in Jesus' name, praying for health, healing, and a miracle, if it be your will. Amen.
Everybody is going through something. I don't care if it's cancer, divorce, or maybe your kids acting out or whatever. The thing that's going to get us all through it, I think, is faith. That everything happens for a reason and that things will be better.
I am excited. I can't wait to see how this works out.
Daddy, Sandy, they're underneath.
Don't ever say can't to me. I guarantee that is a personal challenge. Seeing people coming up and registering and picking up their packets already at 10:30, that's a positive. So let's race.
There she is. Judge left a check for $1,500 to walk.
$1,500, and
That is awesome.
walk. That is super.
We have about 15 that are
Good.
not running. Everybody else wanted to run.
Really?
Our grandpa just passed away from ALS in August, so our whole family is here. There's about 20 of us.
I'm thinking this is super. Don't you think, Hannah?
Yep.
This is Hannah, my granddaughter.
Is there a chance of rain?
Yeah, there is, but later this evening, I hope they're right.
Life asks you tough questions sometimes, and I'm also okay with not having an answer.
We all have death sentences. We're all dying. We're all dying every minute that we live. We're dying. Can't go through life worrying about when.
Make the best of the day and laugh once in a while. Don't hurt a thing.
Having your faith, there's something larger than anything else that's, going to take care of me.
The registration will be closing in about 15 minutes.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, you baby. That's your new name, baby.
You deserve a round of applause, so give yourself a round of applause. Your efforts today are going to fuel ALS research. We thank you very much for that. Now to start the race, Bill's going to start you off, so you people in the front watch. When Bill drops his paddle, go. Ready? Go, John! Ready, set, go! Hey, where's the pom-poms? You're expecting a little. You're supposed to be cheering me on here.
It's phenomenal. I've thought about that and prayed for him, and I thought, how in the world? He's got to be special. It's a special gift.
People that help us in July, to all of us, thank you. Get over it. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and God will take care here will do. I have always seen it as a way to live. Now I have a different focus. I think that's also a good way to die. Love with all your heart, then with all your soul, then with all your mind. When you think of start with your heart, what is first in your heart? It's family, those you love and who love you no matter what. Decide what's really important and spend some time with them or with it. We spend so much time fussing and fuming. I wish I had those hours back. Such a waste of time. Pray for others and be prepared for others praying for you. Visit some church and I look at the prayer list and I'm on it. It's shocking at first and then it's so beautiful. Let other people pray for you. You don't have to do all the praying. Love with all your heart, then with all your soul, then with all your mind, and then you can do anything. You can move mountains if you want.
Whatever you can do for your fellow man, from the grandmother that makes a cake to send to their grandkids bake sale at school, to the person that's walking at a fundraiser, to the scientists that put us on the moon, to the president of the United States, to a president in a third world country. If they would stop and think about what they could even do better for your fellow man. Man, just think of what we could do.
Dirty people take what's mine. I can leave them all behind. They can never cross that line when I get to the border. Sawbones standing at the door, waiting till I hit the floor. He won't find me anymore when I get to the border. Monday morning, closing in on me. I'm packing up and I'm running away to anybody picks on me. If you see a box of pine with a name that looks like mine, just say I drowned in a barrel of wine when I got to the border, when I got to the border. A one-way ticket's in my hand.